like for you to talk about your work and show your work.
Inshallah. Uh, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I do have a question. I see that you're recording, so I guess it's going to be on a maybe like a podcast.
Yes, yes.
Inshallah. Ala khair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Ahmad Abumraighi. I am a Palestinian artist born and raised in Jordan. Um, I studied architecture and interior design, and hoping to take that passion to helping people, my people, and people all over the world struggling um, with their daily lives, struggling with being refugees, being uh, from minorities that just struggle because they're minorities. So
And people
inshallah,
of
I get,
color.
yes, sir. So inshallah, I get to use this knowledge and these skills towards that. My art and calligraphy starts early on when my dad used to teach me calligraphy, Arabic calligraphy. He has good handwriting, and he kind of walked me through it a little bit when I was a kid.
Mm.
Uh, Whenever we had the assignment to the writing assignment, he used to be very strict with me for me to do it right, and so I
Mm.
used to take my sweet time and do the writing well, and I used to sharpen my pencil in a calligraphy tip so I can write nicely, and I'm grateful for, you don't understand it as a kid, and it might seem like work, but later on in life you appreciate all these moments and all that discipline to do better, to
Right.
achieve more.
I have one question so the audience may understand what is calligraphy. So for many people, people don't know what calligraphy is. They may see it,
Absolutely.
but they don't know what it is.
Absolutely. So calligraphy, in simple words, it's the art of writing, the art of documenting the writing that goes through history. And calligraphy is unique because every region has its own calligraphy script, and so it becomes a part of the identity. Like as a
Mm.
region is, you know they have their history going on, they have their events happening. At the same time, they can document all these things in their very special writing, and this writing can go, in books and papers, as well as on interiors and exteriors of buildings, as we see all across the Muslim world.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I do have a little PowerPoint presentation to show a little bit about the the calligraphy that I do, and I would like to show a short video on the history of calligraphy, if if you'd allow me.
Yes, please.
Right.
As long as you promise me to show us your calligraphy work where you express the freedom
Yes,
of
sir.
Palestinian freedom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let me share my screen. All right. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. Let's do that. And this is actually the art piece that we sat down and talked about at some point, brother Amir.
Okay. All right.
This is a part of the series Poetry in Motion, and it's poetry by Palestinian poet Tamim al-Barghouthi about Jerusalem. He says في القدس رغم تتابع الناكبات ريح براءة في الجو ريح طفولة فترى الحمام يطير يعلن دولة في الريح بين رصاصتين. In Jerusalem, despite all the tragedies, there is a scent of innocence, a scent of childhood, that you see doves flying, announcing a state between two bullets. in hopes of and you know the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian case, it similar to a lot of people who struggled around the world, right? But it's been the recent, and it's been the one in the middle of the world that everyone knows about it and everyone sees it, and the people are still struggling there. And yet, through all the oppression, through all the tragedies that are happening there, hope is what keeps everything alive. Hope is what wakes up people in the morning, um, knowing that a better day will come, knowing that these doves
I
will
understand.
fly, and no matter, even between the bullets, they will fly and announce a state of freedom, of hope, of a better day to come, a better tomorrow.
Correct. That is faith. That is hope. And that's
And
across the board, across all people.
yes, sir. Now, let me show this quick video that shows the history of Arabic calligraphy. And let me know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? Can you hear it, Brother Amir?
No, sir.
I wonder how we can. Let's see, modify. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
So you can hear me, but you cannot hear the video. I mean, I can tag the video. I know it shows subtitles. It'll be nice if
Yes, it
can
is
hear
showing subtitles.
So I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna tag the link to and send it to you for people to watch it.
Okay. Okay, your screen popped back up to you. Okay.
Can you hear it now?
No.
There we go.
Now I can hear
Maybe
it.
not. Okay.
نشأت الكتابة في مركزين حضاريين، بلاد ما بين النهرين ووادي النيل. ابتكر السومريون نظاماً للكتابة عرف بالخط المسماري، وفي فترة متزامنة تمكن المصريون من ابتكار الكتابة الهيروغليفية. مرت الكتابة بمراحل عدة، فبدأت بالتصويرية، ثم الرمزية والمقطعية، وانتهت بالأبجدية التي استبدلت فيها الصورة الرامزة للأصوات بالحروف. تفرعت هذه الأبجدية إلى فرعين، هما المسند الذي انتشر في الجزيرة العربية، والفرع الآخر الفينيقي الذي انتشر في بلاد الشام. تفرع من الخط الفينيقي عدة خطوط، منها الآرامي الذي تفرع منه الخط النبطي. ومن آخر صورة وصلت إليها كتابة الأنباط اشتق العرب خطهم. رغم وجود الخط في الجزيرة العربية، إلا أن استخدامه كان محصوراً في بعض المراسلات التجارية. كانت النقلة الحقيقية في تطور الخط العربي مع نزول أول آية من القرآن الكريم، اقرأ. ولارتباط القراءة بالكتابة، عني النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بالكتابة لأهميتها في نشر المعرفة، ومنها تدوين القرآن. كما شجع أفراد المجتمع بما فيهم النساء على تعلم القراءة والكتابة. واتخذ لنفسه كتابا لتسجيل الوحي وكتابة الرسائل التي يبعثها إلى الملوك. وفي صدر الإسلام استخدم الخط المدني بأشكاله الثلاثة: المدور والمثلث والتائم. كان لجمع القرآن أثر كبير في تطوير الكتابة وتنظيم قواعدها. وفي مرحلة لاحقة أدى تفشي اللحن إلى إدخال نقاط الإعراب المعروفة بالشكل في المصحف، ثم أدخلت نقاط الإعجام لتمييز الحروف المتشابهة، إلى أن استعاضوا عن نقاط الإعراب بالشكل بحروف صغيرة. ثم سارت وتيرة التطور بظهور مدارس خطية في الكوفة التي نسب إليها الخط الكوفي، ومنها انتشر إلى جميع البلاد. كما دخلت الزخرفة في وقت مبكر وبدأت بالمشق، ليصبح الحرف عنصراً رئيساً في الزخرفة، وأصبحت ترى الخطوط الجميلة تزين القباب والمآذن والمساجد والقصور. في العصر العباسي ظهر الوزير ابن مقلة الذي ضبط الخط ووضع له المقاييس والقواعد، ليصبح الخط العربي فناً وعلماً له ملامحه المميزة. واخترع خط الثلث، مما أعطى الخط نعومة وانسيابية أكثر مما سبق. ولم ينتهي العصر العباسي حتى وصلت أنواع الخطوط إلى أكثر من 80 نوعاً، في شاهد واضح على التقدم الفني الذي وصل إليه الخط العربي حينها. وتستمر مسيرة الجمال في إبداعاتها لتضع رحالها في الأندلس، حيث طور الأندلسيون الخط القيرواني، وولدوا خطاً أسموه بالخط الأندلسي أو القرطبي. يعد العصر العثماني عصر نضوج الخط العربي، ويكاد يطلق عليه العصر الذهبي للخط العربي، حتى أن بعض الخلفاء تتلمذ على أيدي الخطاطين وأخذ عنهم مبادئ الخط العربي. وقد امتلأت مساجد الخلافة العثمانية ومبانيها بالخطوط الرائعة والزخارف الجميلة لكبار الخطاطين، كما ازدهر ما يتعلق بالخط من صناعات وفنون كصناعة الورق وفن التذهيب والزخرفة. أضاف خطاط العصر الحديث بعداً جمالياً جديداً للخط العربي، فأصبح فناً تشكيلياً له عناصره ومقوماته الخاصة به، يشترك فيه العربي وغير العربي، ويتماهى في جمالياته عشاق الفن، وتقام لأجله المعارض المختلفة في أنحاء العالم. وبرزت جماليات الخط والزخرفة تحفاً تزين الحرمين الشريفين والمساجد والمجالس والقاعات الكبرى. رحلة الخط العربي وتطوره لا تحكي فقط مسيرة للجمال والإبداع، بل تحكي معاني عالية وتاريخاً وحضارة وروحاً سامية.
Very good, very good.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I like that video showing the history of how things started, where things started. From like the only thing that makes us different than all other creatures is the fact that we can write, is the fact that we can document our experiences and events throughout history. And from writing and documenting these events with pictures and symbols to creating the system of a language is a genius thing to me. And then to improve on that and make it evolve over time. For us, what really pushed Arabic as calligraphy, as an art to flourish is Islam. The fact that it was so important to read in Islam and for you to read, then you have to learn how to write, and for you to document these things, it has to be as beautiful as can be, because we do believe that Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. Um, and from
Yeah.
there until this day, there's still scripts and fonts that are being created, that are being invented and worked on, and it's never over. It keeps going, and that's the beauty of an art. Uh, and it might be an art with rules, but it, it has to look right for it to be right.
Are
Arabic
you in a
is all
position to
about
show some?
proportions. Uh-huh.
Are you in a position to show some more of your artwork?
Absolutely, sure thing. Uh, this piece of Surah قل هو الله أحد, Surah Al-Ikhlas, in a font called Al-Khatt Al-Mujawhar. It's a sub-Moroccan script that looks like diamonds. It's called Mujawhar, based on the term Jawhara, which means diamond. And it has its own unique way of writing. I believe this was inspired by the scripts of Al-Andalus, the ones that were created in Spain when Muslims ruled Spain.
Okay.
So some of my works. This is Al-Khatt Al-Kufi Al-Murabba. This font is from Kufa in Iraq, started in there, and it's called Murabba, which means square, because it's all geometric and it's all based on the square as a dot, and it creates beautiful shapes between the negative and positive, and you can there's a lot to create in it. It's one of my favorites for making logos.
Oh. And
Here's uh-huh.
where would we see some of that script at?
Al-Kufi. It's a very old script, so you can find it in very old architecture in the region in Iraq, as well as just art in general. It's one of the scripts that heavily relies on the compass and the ruler. Like you use these tools to create this script, which is not the same in other scripts.
Okay.
Here I mixed a little bit of both. That was a canvas piece and kind of like a fabric canvas, and I mixed both Arabic and English. In the middle it says family, and in Arabic all around it says father, mother, brother, sister, going around the word family.
Okay. Okay.
That's another piece from an ayah from the Quran. Say, surely my prayer, my worship, my life, and my death are for Allah.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite ayats. Yes.
And again, you can see the proportion in it. You can see here I was very precise with the distance between the lines and the circle around it, and how far they are from each other, to create the shape and the comfort to the eye that you want to create, to convey the message that you need to convey to people.
But to me, it looks also 3D.
It does. See, I can't know everything, so I gotta show it out to people, and they tell me what they see.
Yeah.
This is another one, kind of playing with the circles, and the font. This is the word hub, which means love in Arabic.
And expresses love. Ooh, that's beautiful too.
I mean, This piece is dear to me. I did it early on in my artistic calligraphy journey, and to me, um, language is the key to all knowledge. That's what we believe in. So this key is made of language. This key is made of the Arabic alphabets. That once you know how to read them, you know how to connect and create words and understand words, then you're able to you have the key to open the door of knowledge. And language is everything. Like, through language, we learn about 1400 years of history easily through understanding this language.
Yeah. I see there's in some of the words the color coded. Is there a message within your color code?
None this one. I was trying to be playful with the alphabet, seeing where they take me.
Okay.
I I I tried to keep playing between colors and going back to black and white. And sometimes each piece calls for what it needs. Sometimes and you try it. For me, I've learned something over the years, and it's been true so far, that if something doesn't look in black and white, it's not gonna look in color. It's not gonna look good in color, right? So I try to start my base when I'm sketching. I try to start with black and white and see how that looks before I introduce color to it. This is another piece I did early on back in 2013. This is a very old poem by an Arab poet who used to be very skillful, master in his poetry. He used to go to kings and rulers and say poetry and then praising them, and they love it and they pay him money pretty much. And if they don't pay him enough, he will just switch the words up and make it sound bad. Just the same poem, just make it sound bad against them. So this is a very popular poem that says, الخيل والليل والبيداء تعرفني والسيف والرمح والقرطاس والقلم. The steed, the night, and the desert know me, as do the sword, the spear, and the paper and the pen. And he used to praise himself in front. He used to always fit, himself in poetry. Or although he would be praising someone else, he would put himself in it as well.
That's beautiful.
This is the heart. This is the ayah. ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Surely in the remembrance of Allah, hearts find peace. This is another ayah that is dear to me. واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. And lower to them the wings of mercy, out of humility, and say, "Oh Allah, have mercy on them as they've raised me when I was young." And it's a little abstract, so it might not be easy to see.
Look. It's not, man. It's beautiful. Like you first see creation, okay? The moon, the sun, but then yet you see a mother. You see the arms, embracing the family and the head and the mercy.
Yeah.
Oh no, man, for work, man. Oh man.
Alhamdulillah.
Man.
This one I did actually on a large canvas. And this is the last آية in Surah Al-Baqarah, in Surah Al-Kahf عفوا. قل لو كان البحر مدانا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. say if the sea was an extension to the words of my Lord, then the sea would have ended before the words of my Lord have ended. And in it doesn't show the last part of the ayah. It kind of the last part of the ayah fades, with the sea as it fades away, because the sea is not enough. The sea is not enough to keep up with the ayat. Yeah, a part of my Arabic calligraphy. I love Arabian horses. I grew up just loving the way they look. I love all horses, but Arabians look very proportionally right, just like calligraphy. How it should proportionally look right. So I include the Arabian horses in a lot of my works, and sometimes they're the main part of the painting or artwork, and sometimes they're just there in the background. Maybe not too powerful of lines, or not too strong, but they're still there.
So in Palestine, you see a lot of Arabian horses.
It's hard to see them in the city now, but I'm Bedouin, and in the Bedouin culture, you relied on your horse to take you from a place to another. Um,
Okay.
and it was a part of your pride to have a noble horse, and Arabian horses are a noble breed, and they are very careful of how they treat them, and um, what they breed them with and whatnot. So it has a science to it, for even for simple people. But horses take a big place in the Arab culture, and especially in the Bedouin culture. And there is a lot of poetry about horses, how great of friends they are, how brave in wars and whatnot. So they're a part of the culture and love for the Bedouin culture, and the um, good friends and loyal friendship, and for me, a part of the Arabic language as well.
Okay. I got a question. Then, what type
Mhm.
of role does the camel play
The
in
camel
Arabian
plays
culture?
another big role. The camel is for traveling. The camel is the patience. It's the um, persistence. Is being able to go long distances and long times without eating or drinking. So that it's another place that the camel takes, and it's unique on its own. Um,
Okay. So
but it's
in
usually
modern
when
terminology, I could say a camel is like a truck, and a horse, Arabian horse, is like a Mercedes.
kind of, yeah. That's a good analogy. Yeah. This is another area. I played with something a little bit, maybe not so organic in the shape, but I was reading this ayah, and it was so it spoke to me of like engineering, and precision, and things being sharp and on point. And it just reminded me of how important time is, and like in our watches, as the time just ticks, and it's all based on gears. Like, it has to be precise, it has to tick at the right time, at the right place, in the right gear. And this ayah is all about that. Allah alone keeps precise measure of the day and night. He knows that you believers are unable to endure this, and has turned to you in mercy. So recite in prayers whatever you can from the Quran.
Excellent. Excellent.
Moving on to a little bit in the American culture. Um, this is Muhammad Ali, and
Oh,
this
okay.
this piece is inspired by uniting the struggle between different communities around the world, and this one in specific, it's to unite the struggle of Black people in America and the Palestinian people. So this is Muhammad Ali, and the poetry that he's drawn in are the words of a Palestinian author, uh, Hassan Kanafani, who was assassinated in the 70s because of his
So,
works.
so the hair says,
The hair says, لك شيء في هذا العالم فقم. It's like you have something in this world, so stand up for it. And this is, to me, Muhammad Ali. That's what he did. He stood up for what he believed in.
for
And
sure. Now the eyebrows.
it's a part of the phrase, as well as
And
the collar of the
collar?
shirt.
Okay. Yeah. Muhammad Ali did do that, and that's
Yes,
what
sir.
he represents. I met another young man. One thing African Americans I've seen that we don't appreciate the value that we bring to the world. Another young man I met in Canada, his name was Muhammad Ali, and he said he was named after Muhammad Ali for what Muhammad Ali represents. And then he said that Muhammad got Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and got Ali, so he brought both the worlds together.
Yep. It's and to me, it's important for us as young Muslims growing up in America and the West. It's important to notice these things. It's important to see what our ancestors have gone through to get us to the point that we're in. What they believed in and what made them go through all of that, although it was painful, physically, emotionally, and many other levels. What made them go through all of that just to get to the point that we're in right now, and what does that mean to us, and how do we continue that? Because for us as Muslims, we don't believe that it's all about this world. We believe that this world is a world of struggles and trials, and to do the best you can, and the reward is in the next world.
That's right.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. And it's a rough journey. It's a struggle, but
it is indeed.
This too will pass, and you will surely, Allah says, surely man gets what he strives for.
You're right. Absolutely. Alhamdulillah. May Allah guide us.
I mean,
this piece is the name for the entire work that I do. This is Poetry in Motion. This is where it all started. This piece speaks. It's a very old poem by Arab poet, and he speaks about high hopes and having a strong spirit to be able to make the change in the world. Be strong and be patient and be understanding, being smart to be able to make this change in the world, while being connected with what happened before you and what people did before you, and being able to pass it on to the ones after you, inshallah.
Man. Excellent.
Jazakumullah khair.
Man. Excellent, man. I mean, really. Poetry in Motion.
Poetry in Motion. I did
really.
This is the name of my page. This is my on Etsy, Pim Arts. Pim is short of Poetry in Motion Arts DC.
Okay.
And this is a QR code that if you just turn on the camera on your phone and point it at it, it'll show a link on top that you can just click and go to the page. You can follow me there and see where the journey takes me, inshallah, in the next few years.
Inshallah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna forward you some information. And I apologize for not doing it faster. I'm gonna forward you email to the Qatar American. It's an organization of Qataris, culture, and they're getting ready to open up a museum space downtown DC, and they're going to highlight the art of calligraphy. And I think that your presentation bridges the history to modern reality. I think you're an excellent choice. So look out.
That would be nice.
I'll definitely forward the information.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
I would love to sit down with you and see you and have some coffee.
Inshallah, we will soon, and in the space, man. Inshallah.
I mean,
but Ahmad, I really want to thank you for your time, your patience, perseverance, man. Excellent presentation, excellent, beautiful work, and I think that it's a work that can become stimulating, and hopefully it will bring you into our neighborhood to stimulate others. Calligraphy may be because the word is very powerful. Very stimulating. Allah says, "What He send the water down as like a fertilizing rain," and that word is like that. Is like a fertilizer. It nurtures you, it grows you, and evolves you. And I think art is one of the best forms, man. I think you got a beautiful expression of it.
Alhamdulillah, you're absolutely right.
Man, why you don't have nothing in your background, man? You supposed to have some of that shown in your work, man. Come on, man. But your work is very soft. It's touching. It's very you can feel your love in your work. It comes alive.
Alhamdulillah, that's the hope.
Yes, keep hope alive.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. And I do want to say that as Palestinians and as African Americans, in tradition, history shows that Palestinians are really Phoenicians, and Phoenicians are Canaanites, children of Ham. So we're all, we're Hamitic. We're part of that what was Ham had what was it? Canaan, Cush, Misra, and Foot. And that's all of us of color. And we're still struggling. So let's keep hope alive, and as we saw today in America, we see the head of racism peaking, but we see it's dying. So there's hope that nativism, that racism and things, all those isms that we see around the world will begin to fade out. One of the things that I heard very promising, and for all of us as Americans, we heard it, and that was when Biden's inaugural. If you listen to the rabbi or the father, he said Bismillah. He said, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. He said, if you go back and listen, that is what he said. That is a great day. That is a great day when the human beings trying to recognize that God is the most gracious, most merciful. All these images and these false perceptions. So I believe truth is coming. Justice is coming. Fairness. And God said He's a fair God. He's a just God. And love is the key. And your work shows the vehicle of love.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
May Allah guide.
Thank you, Brother Ahmad.
Inshallah,
we'll record this and we will highlight and we'll forward it around.
Ameen. Jazakumullah khairan.
Barakallah feek. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is one of our programs, first program. Thank you. This is our first program behind the visual art with Brother Ahmad. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.